Welcome to the Winning Move Podcast. I'm your host, Stratton Brown. I interview successful entrepreneurs from around the world to see what moves they've made in their lives to get successful and, more importantly, stay successful. I'm here to make sure you can create a better life for you and your family. Let's tune in. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Winning Move Podcast. We've got another badass guy under 30 who's killing it, a guy who I'm aspiring to get to as far as revenue goes, right, and everything else. His name's Cody Purtle. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me. Appreciate you inviting me on to be on the show.
Of course, bro. You're a fucking killer. So,
hey, and by the way, I'm about to be 30, man. I'm approaching 30 in like 6 months. So
no,
yeah.
Are you freaking out about it? I was on the phone with
No, not really, man. I'm over it now. You know, it is what it is.
Bro.
Older and wiser.
So I called Derek this morning because it's his birthday.
Yeah.
And I was trying to talk to him. We were talking about like every year on my birthday, I have like a yearly crisis of I'm getting too old, too fast, and I haven't achieved enough. Right. And it's like constant, bro. Do you feel that at all?
A little bit, man. I guess I just kind of got over it. You know, you start to feel like the little things as far as like, you know, exercising, like, you know, if I go play, you know, sports or whatever, the next day I'm sore as hell, or, you know, drinking, the hangovers are getting worse. So, you know, it's just stuff like that, man. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much over it now. About to be 30, so it is what it is.
And you don't have any kids, do you?
I do. I have a daughter. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How old's your daughter?
She's 12.
Oh, hell yeah. You had a kid young, dude.
Young, man. Yeah, it taught me a lot. Yeah.
Bro, tell me about that situation, because I thought I had my son young.
Yeah. No, dude, I was 16. Whenever she was born, a few months after she was born, I had turned 17. So at that point in my life, I was stupid, man. Doing a lot of stupid things, hanging around with the stupid crowd.
Yeah.
So right after I had her, man, I ended up dropping out of high school. You know, she was one of the main reasons why. And I just started I went work for my dad in the oil and gas industry right after that, shortly. So, talk about it. I did. Yeah. So one of the things with my mom, you know, because I dropped out as a junior in high school, and you know, my mom was okay to sign off on it as long as I went to go get my GED. So, you know, I made a commitment to her to go get my GED. It took me probably about, you know, 2 months to get it. And then after that, you know, I went to work.
What, bro? So how much did that shit kick your ass into gear? Because like when I had my son, as soon as I found out my girlfriend was pregnant, I didn't talk to anybody for months. Like it was like, all right, bro. Like something like clicked. So like, bro, it's just grind time, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much, man. You know, once you start to hit a, you know, part of that responsibility that folds into your life, and I could probably say my experience was a lot different considering how young I was. You know, I was still a kid myself, so you know, having to undergo that at that point in my life, it was definitely life changing. And you know, as a man, you got to do what you got to do. It was either stay in school. I was already not making good grades. I knew what I wanted to do once I got out of school. So it just made perfect sense for me to make that decision to go to work and, you know, start working at the same company that my dad was at. So yeah, I don't regret it at all.
No, not. I mean, what's it called? At the beginning, I was like, Jesus Christ, my fucking life is over. That's truly what I thought, right?
Yeah.
So
it's life changing. It's life changing, man. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So when did you start getting into sales after you dropped out? Were you in the oil and gas industry that entire time?
Yeah. So right after I dropped out of high school, I went at that time. No, I had like a stock boy job. I was working at a grocery store, man, while I was in high school at the time. So I dropped out. I wanted to go work with my dad in the oil and gas industry. So I'm from South Louisiana. Typically, you you know, most men you know, once they get out of high school, that was kind of the career path to get into. There's a lot of money to be made into it, especially at a young age. So I jumped right into that field right after high school, and I didn't get into sales until I got laid off of my oil and gas career in 2015, and I moved to Houston in 2016. So that's whenever I started, you know, getting more involved into sales and entrepreneurship and psychology and, you know, all that good stuff.
So what was your first job after you got laid off? And like, what really started getting you into real estate?
So the first, going to your first question, the first job that I took after I got laid off, I moved to Houston. I didn't have a job for the longest time. I had a savings account. That was pretty much it. But I was so caught into wanting to be an entrepreneur, a business owner. I just didn't know exactly what I wanted to be at the time. So months went by of me just trying to figure it out, trying to, you know, figure out who I am and what I want to do. And I eventually found a job in collections. So I was, yeah. So I got accepted for a job in collections, and it was right down the road from the apartment that I was living at the time. And it was an office environment, hundreds of phone calls a day, you know, nonstop. And, you know, same with like kind of like what we do in real estate. It's kind of funny, you know, we had KPIs for that as well, as far as, you know, what was my talk time for the day, how many dials I made a day, you know, all that stuff. And whenever I did get somebody to pay their bills, it's kind of like we used like a chart to bring up there's like a little color chart that would just go up, you know, how much money we brought in. So pretty funny, you know, how it all kind of correlates in some way. But as far as real estate goes, man, once I got laid off, I had in 2015 is the year that I got laid off, but I had about a year to prepare myself and I was freaking out. You know, I had a new house at the time that I had just bought the previous year. I had a lot of toys, you know, boats, four-wheelers, you know, just all kind of bullshit.
All
right?
debt?
Yeah, not all of it was debt, but just you know, that's how I was spending my money. You know, I was not investing it. I was just buying shit, you know. So I had about a year to prepare myself. I got laid off at the end of 2015, but come February or March before at the beginning of 2015, it started to slow down. Work started to slow down. People started to lose their jobs, and I knew it was coming, man. So I wanted to prepare myself in a way to exit that industry and not have to depend on a job, because just as it was life-changing to have a child at such a young age, it's life-changing to experience, you know, what are you going to do whenever, you know, you've jumped into this industry, this career path that you thought that you were going to do for the rest of your life, and now your back's against the wall and you're about to lose it all, you know? You're about to lose your career and there's nobody else hiring. What am I going to do to make money, you know? And I was 24 at the time. So I was still young. So having to experience this and seeing older men in their 60s and 70s still working in this industry and experiencing the same feeling that I'm feeling, I knew right then and there, I'm never going to put myself or my family in this position. I'm going to find a way out of it. So funny thing is, one of the guys that I was working with at the time, I asked him, you know, what are you going to do if you lose your job? He was about 5 to 10 years older than me.
Okay.
And he was always coming to work in a good mood. You know, I was depressed, trying to figure it out, scrambling, you know, like, what am I going to do? And he told me to read a book, Rich Dad Poor Dad and Think and Grow Rich. And he got me involved into Bigger Pockets and all the, you know, the podcasts from Bigger Pockets, the forums. And I just started getting addicted, man. You know, what is this real estate stuff? So yeah, exactly, man. So I ended up buying my first rental property at the end of 2015. I sold a lot of my bullshit, you know, the four-wheelers, you know, I got rid of my truck. I got into a cheaper car payment. I had 2 trucks at the time, so I sold that one too. There's a lot of stuff that I did to start. I started to learn about entrepreneurship and money finances, right? They never teach you that crap in school. So I had to self-educate myself on that, and I started to slowly reduce my expenses and start to save some money to be able to start investing. And I bought my first property at the end of 2015. So as far as real estate went, I was really into buying rental properties at the time before I discovered wholesaling. So
do you still have that rental now?
I still have it, man. Yeah. Yeah, I still have it. It's a little mobile home on a piece of land. I bought it for like 36 grand. I did all the work myself, me and my dad actually. I put probably like $2,000 to $3,000 worth of work into it, did some flooring, paint, all that stuff. And I rent it out for like $850 a month right now. And I have like a tiny little mortgage. I pay I think like $300 on it. So
That's
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
I interviewed a dude, and that's all his business model is, bro. His mobile home on land.
Yeah.
That's all he does.
Yep.
So, bro, let's talk about your collection stuff first, because that's like what makes the best salespeople, just because of the intensity. So, like, what else did you pull away from that as far as integrating that into your business, the KPIs, what's it called, the harassment of the follow-up?
Dude, the thick skin, getting told, fuck you all the time. I think that was the biggest thing that I took away, Yeah, the KPIs and stuff for sure, but I didn't know what that was back then until I became, a business owner myself and started to hire people and build systems and processes. Then I started to realize how that tied in. But at the beginning, man, it was the feeling of getting rejected so much over and over and over and getting cursed at and yelled at on the phone. Coming from the background that I worked in my life previously to, doing that, I worked around with a lot of, grumpy old men that did curse and got pissed off all the time. But it was definitely a different type of experience, being on the phones all day, every single day, coming into work from this time to this time, doing the same thing repetitively, and getting told to go screw yourself multiple times throughout the day, right? Sometimes like days I would laugh it off, and sometimes there would be days where, I'm like, man, I can't do this shit today, like I'm not dealing with it, but I think that's the biggest thing that I picked up from it, man, is thick skin, because tying it into this whole real estate stuff, what we do as far as the acquisition process part of it. You get sellers all the time like, quit calling me, your offer sucks, all this crap,
Well, I mean, with entrepreneurship, I think the biggest fallacy that everybody talks about is like all these fucking sunshine and rainbows, where half the time, like I'm gonna fire everybody one day, right? You're gonna make $1 million the next day. Then the next day, like 4 deals fall through, right? Until it's the ups and the downs, and I feel like I get kicked more in the face now than I ever really have before.
100%.
Yeah, like I have all these wins, but like we had a deal fall out this morning. We were gonna make, one of our partners gonna make $12K. It's at the closing table, and then all of a sudden I get a text saying, the seller owes $13K in back taxes, right?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? And then like all this other random shit that keeps piling up, and then you'll have one good win, and then that's your fix for the next hour.
Yep. It happens, man. That's the business that we're in, right? But it's the beauty of it, right? Because every loss leads you to something else, right? It's like you got to look at it from that angle. If the moment you start beating yourself up about it, because we lose deals all the time, man, due to stuff that is out of our control.
No control.
But it's just the nature of the beast. I know that if I can continue to be consistent, that I'm going to find another deal that's going to be larger than the one that I just lost.
And are you guys primarily virtual, or do you go on appointments? That's the next thing.
Oh, virtual. Yeah.
All virtual?
Yeah, every now and then we'll go on appointments. If it's like a property that we feel like we want to buy ourselves, I'll either go, or, some of the guys in the office will go. Every now and then you have, just sellers that are older, a little bit more old school, and you send them a contract to their email. They're like, what the hell is this? They want to meet you face to face. It's just those types of situations. If it's in our market in Houston, then, we'll go, obviously. Or, if it's out of our market, another state or another city, then we'll usually find boots on the ground and go out there.
Are you, so you what, all, how many states are you in now? I thought you were just like all greater Texas.
No, dude. So, as far as like data wise, like whenever we pull like lists and stuff, it's all throughout Texas. But as far as doing deals, through inbound leads and stuff, we're pretty much all over the nation. Missouri,
Okay.
Chicago, Tennessee, Florida, just wherever. If
And
the deal makes sense, yeah, we'll grab it.
is that all through PPC, I'm guessing?
We do a little bit of PPC, man. I put a lot of that on hold for now, just because we were doing we were making a lot of changes internally with our team. So I put that on hold. I'm about to start ramping that up again, but a lot of the inbounds that we still have coming in right now is from Facebook ads.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What's the secret to Facebook ads? I've
Dude.
tried it, lost thousands. My friends have spent one of my friends spent 50,000, made 55. He was like, "All right, bro, that's enough data to where it's not even worth it."
To be honest with you, man, that is probably one of the only things that I don't have my hands in. I hired somebody else to do it, and I just kind of let them roll with it. I'm still mainly focused like on the acquisition side, so I see the type of leads that are coming in, and a lot of them are pretty decent, man. They're not. You get some, of course, that are just bullshit, but for the most part, man, they're pretty motivated. I mean, the only thing that I could say, I know for sure that we're spending, I think about $100 a day on Facebook ads. Our ads are very, I guess, we have some videos introducing ourselves and who we are, stuff like that. I think my partner Jared, there might be like a video of him, walking around the neighborhood and just talking to his phone. I don't know if like what's so like anything special about it, man. It was honestly, dude, the time we started doing it, I had so much going on that I didn't want to learn it. I just kind of, trusted somebody else to do it. And if it didn't work, then it didn't work,
Right.
But,
I mean, that's what most people do now, right? When you're in your position, you can only focus on a couple of things. Now you have the cash flow to just pay to outsource it, and
that's
then
right.
let things keep rolling. So what does your day-to-day look like now, and like what are you responsible for in your company? And talk about your partner as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So my day-to-day is mainly acquisitions focused. I'm more focused on the acquisitions part of it now. And it hasn't always been like that. It used to be my partner, and then we just kind of like flip-flopped a little bit. My partner, Jared, he's mainly focused on the transactions part of it. He's whenever it comes to like integrating stuff and putting plans into action, he's the man that can make it happen. Those hard to close files, he pretty much takes a threshold on that. And a lot of his time is spent running the title company too. So we have a title company, and he's putting a lot of time and effort into that right now. I also focus a lot on the marketing and a little bit on the dispositions, but we kind of have majority of that covered now. I don't really have to be so involved on that side.
Okay. What would you say right now is your biggest bottleneck in your business? And both businesses, I'm interested.
Biggest bottleneck that I have in the wholesaling, real estate investing part of it, I think time and I think acquisitions is extremely tough, right? There's a lot of cycling through people, I feel, and it takes a special kind of character who can again deal with rejection every single day, and just have that desire to be consistent on the phones, right? That is kind of why I moved more into the acquisition side of it.
Okay.
As I told you, I had to make some changes earlier this year internally. We had some great people that worked with us, but over time, people kind of get complacent and comfortable, and you have to make changes, right? It's either they make a change, you have to talk to them about it, or you have to make changes yourself. So we had to make a lot of changes as far as personnel goes, and it was kind of like a little rebuild at the beginning of the year for us.
So, and I was reading about this in Principles the other day. At
Mhm.
what point did you know it was time to make the changes, and how did you identify who it was that needed to go?
Well, so a lot of it had to do with the title company too, right?
Okay.
So we started this title company in October, but we started like the build out phase of it, as far as like the office and then all the other stuff that goes into it.
Yeah.
December, I think like the middle of December is whenever we officially launched and we were able to start closing deals. All right.
Okay.
So we were so focused and gun ho on that it 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 even as a leader for myself and my partner, we can both say this, that we kind of let go a little bit of the wholesaling side of it, that we weren't paying as much attention to it as we usually are.
Okay.
And then we felt that pain in January and February because we had shit for revenue.
Mm-hmm.
So once January hit and I saw how much we were closing, I was like, oh shit. I was like, this is like the lowest I've ever done in since me and him had decided to become partners. And then February was the same thing. It was crazy,
You
depressing
bounced back
to look
fast
at.
as fuck, though.
Fast, dude. Very fast. Yeah, we had to make changes. I had to get myself more involved in the day-to-day operations again.
Okay.
And I feel like as a business owner, that's like one of the things that me, I've only been doing the wholesaling business. Like I took it to, I guess, the next level, if you will, probably about 2 years ago in 2019 is whenever I've learned how to take this and turn it into an actual business.
A business.
But that's a hard lesson that I've learned, is to never take your foot off the pedal and always be observant of your employees, making sure that their systems and processes are still in place and they're hitting their goals, and in return the company's hitting their goals. I didn't have anybody in a position to be able to look over that for me. It was always me and Jared. So once we let that go, there's really no leadership in the office, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
That was my next question, bro. I was like, so was it a lack of leadership? Did you not prepare someone enough when you stepped away? Or is it more of like it just slipped, you thought it would be fine, and then you saw all the chinks in your own armor?
Lack of leadership for sure. Also we did have some issues with personnel, right? It's there's things that I guess, what's the right word that I'm looking for, man? It's it's not that they're like lazy, but they're not they've been with us long enough that they're not, yeah, right. They've been with us long enough to where like they weren't going to go anywhere with us, right? Like it's not, there was no leadership skills, there was no initiative. Whenever the time came to hit the pavement and start like producing results, they just weren't there. They kind of just faded out, right? And I'm always the like type of person, Jared's the one that's like just like whatever, but I get emotionally attached to the people that we bring in, and we try to help them out and we try to get them going. There's only so much that you can do, you know what I mean?
Well, I know exactly what you mean, and they can make more money with you than they've ever made in their life, right? Like way more money than they could ever imagine possible. A lot of people are happy making like $5,000 a month. They can make a lot more with you guys, bro. The leadership aspect of bringing them along, I haven't experienced the lack of initiative yet, though. That is a really hard one to where. Going back, what would you do to like sniff that shit out? Because that's the hardest thing to fucking sniff out, to where, let's say you're 17 months into this and then you start to see their true colors because they finally realized.
I'm still figuring it out, man. That's something that I'm still trying to figure out, as far as bringing in the right people, the right leadership, the right just personnel, right?
Yeah.
That'll just take it over without me having to be over their shoulders. You know what I mean? And I wish I had that answer for you, bro. I think because I do have one guy that's working for me right now. He's kind of like, I don't want to say he's my assistant, but he helps me out with like a lot of small tedious tasks that
Yeah.
might not have that are very time consuming, and it'll take like almost my whole day, right? He has a lot of good leadership capabilities, and the way I guess he approached me is like, hey man, I'll come work for you for free. Like, I want to learn from you, all this stuff. And I told him, I said, hey, look, yeah, that's fine. You could come work for me. I'll open up the business, but you're going to sign a non-compete and all this good stuff. And, at least be with me from a certain time period to a certain time
Yeah.
period. Right. But he's military background, disciplined, on time, all the time, takes initiative. So, if I could find more people like that, I think I'll be all right. Yeah.
So my next question was talking about acquisitions, and this is the number one thing that happens with every wholesale company. Motherfuckers leave and go start their own company. Like, I did that shit. Like, eventually I was like, man, I'm sick of this. And you're training up yous, and they're gonna go and start up their own company. So is everybody signing a non-compete? And how are you painting this is my favorite question. How are you painting your vision so big that their dreams can fit inside of it?
Dude, that's a really good question. So some of the people that have came work for us in the past decided to start up their own wholesaling companies as well.
Yep.
Honestly, man, it really doesn't bother me that bad. I guess I don't stress about it. Quite frankly, man, I really don't care. Because at the end of the day, I know between me and Jared that, we'll do what we got to do to keep prospering forward, and they're not going to get in our way. And kudos to them, man. If that's what they want to do. I think as far as wholesaling goes, man, it's easy, but at the same time, it could get difficult, man. And to kind of, to scale it, I think that's the most challenging part, right? To scale it, bring in the right people, make sure your marketing's right, your KPIs right. So, kudos to them and best of luck, man. I mean, it doesn't bother me at all.
Well, I mean, the monthly nut alone is something that a lot of people aren't prepared for, right? To the
100%.
marketing spend to where this is all on you to recapture that money, and then the money may not come back for a year on some of it, right? We're going to be pushing shit along for 2 years. You just never know.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Yeah. And to answer your other question about, dreams and how they can align their dreams and their goals with our company, I think it's really, a lot of it falls down to like, what do you want as a company as far as revenue wise, and paint the picture for them. We've done quarterly meetings where we've had vision boards with our employees, and
I love that.
we would ask them, we would sit down one-on-one with them too and say, hey, how much do you want to make a year? And we'd map it out for them. Okay, you need to do this, 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 and this, right? I think that really helped out a lot, doing stuff like that. And I think having a good culture at the workplace is huge as well, right? Just having a good, fun environment, celebrating your wins, and whenever things do go wrong, is always like having meetings with them on how we can improve and how, where do we mess up at, and how can we get better? So I don't know, we've always found stuff like that works, man. People like to grow, they see that as a growth opportunity. And I think, for the most part, people have financial goals too. So painting that picture out for them too will definitely help not only them, but also you as a business owner, because they're going to be more hungry to make sure they hit those numbers.
Without a doubt. And now let's start talking about your title company. Why? I already asked you this. Why in God's name did you start a title company?
Man, mainly for control. I wanted to have control of our deals. Title companies can make or break your deal. I think we in real estate can all say yes to that. And I wanted to. There's a lot of title companies that, I mean, think about it, right? Somebody's entitled, they're dealing with all these files. I mean, I've seen the life of an escrow officer, man, and it is stressful as hell, right? I mean, it's literally right down the hallway from me right now. So having one on your payroll is a little bit different because now I can just go knock on her door, text her anytime I want, hey, what's going on with this? Hey, what's going on with that? And I pretty much get responses almost immediately, right? Instead of having to wait sometimes to the next day. But not only that, man, I have a lot of friends and acquaintances and people that are in the same industry, obviously, and I wanted to be able to attend to them too, and make sure that we don't drop the ball on some of their deals, right?
Without doubt. And you guys want to be the number one investor source and the number one investor title company in Houston, I'm guessing.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
How's the transition been dealing with these new customers? One thing that I thought was different is now I'm in a service-based business, and now I have to service all my friends, and I have to help our employees not to fuck up that, because then my friends are losing money because of me. It's a weird dynamic, bro.
It is, man. I could probably say that's the only thing that makes it a little bit stressful, is because these are my friends. These are people that I know. I associate myself with them. They're relying on me to get their transaction, closed. And, I'll be honest with you, man, sometimes, like, since we've been doing this, there have been instances where there have been things that haven't gone perfect, right? But, it's one of those things, man, that you constantly just want to improve on, making sure that everything works out right for them. And if something does slip up, as long as it's not our fault, man, I mean, I'm okay with that. But if it is our fault, yeah, I'll feel like absolute shit about it, for sure. It
happens, bro. And sometimes you can't help growing pains too, right? As you're scaling a company out, there's some things you don't have control over. Or let's say, like, we didn't build out a system right, and then like this one thing slips, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that starts to get pretty crazy. What masterminds are you in?
None right now, man.
Really?
I'm in none right now. Yeah, none.
Why?
Dude, time mainly time. Not saying what I'm doing is the right answer by any means. I love masterminds. I'm all for them, 100%. Really, man, it's just time and being able to commit to one right now. If I do commit to one and I'm paying the money, I don't care how much money you pay for a mastermind or coaching or mentoring. That's always the answer, right? That's always the answer to growth. Learning is always the key to growth. But just right now at this very time, I'm in zero right now. But I will, man. I'm looking into some of them. I know the one that XD Trang's in. What is that one called, man?
Collective Genius.
Collective Genius. Heard that's a pretty solid group. There's a few of them, man. What kind are you in? What masterminds?
I do some stuff with Mark Evans, and then we're in a self-storage mastermind.
Yeah, so the self-storage mastermind is something that we've been looking into for sure.
I love the one we're in. If you are looking at it, bro, I think it's awesome, dude.
Send it to me, man. I'm definitely interested. I've been talking to Jared about getting into one, because that's we talked about that earlier. That's something that we're looking to get into. And yeah, man, we're highly interested for sure. That's something I'm willing to sign up with, like, ASAP.
The hand holding is a huge thing for me, bro. I don't know what it is. Like, I just like having someone to give me that confidence to move forward.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And to be honest with you, right? I know we talked earlier last week about me and Jared's deal that we're building right now, right? That we haven't closed on it, so I don't want to speak too soon on it. We're still working out some kinks, waiting on surveys, stuff like that. But this was obviously something that we've done. This was our first, new build and step into commercial, right? So, just to let everybody know, we're working on developing some storage units out here in Texas. And as far as like the appraisals and stuff go, we were extremely conservative on our numbers to the appraiser, and it freaking bit us in the ass, man. So now we're trying to work our way up to get that appraisal higher so we can get a bigger loan to be able to build this thing, right? So it's like little things like that, knowing what material cost is and all that stuff that we could have highly benefited from joining a mastermind. So masterminds, coaching, mentorships, That's the way to go.
That sucks. I'm so sorry.
It is what it is, man. You know, all you can do is, you know, we're trying to work on, you know, getting out of it, getting a higher appraisal for sure, and making this thing happen. And if it doesn't, you know, it's a big learning lesson for us for sure. You know.
And
So,
are you still coaching? You guys had your own coaching program, right?
a little bit, man. I do a little bit of it. Again, it goes back to it just goes back to time. It's time, man. Time is valuable. I mean, like I told you, I hired a guy mainly to kind of assist me in doing things now, right? Long, just tasks that swallow up my time. Yes, man, just stuff. And and you know, saying that too, man. You know, time is valuable, but I don't know if you've seen lately. I've been doing a lot of traveling. You know, traveling is super important to me, man. It rejuvenates my mind. It refreshes me whenever I get back here. And I want to be able to do those things, man. You know, it's something that I work my ass off for. You know, I want to go enjoy life. You know, why just, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and work every single day, man. Like, I'm gonna go enjoy the shit that I work for, and just have a good time, man. See the world. You know, that's stuff that I like to do.
Well,
So,
bro, the one thing I don't like with the coaching is I will give someone the entire blueprint of where they want to go, and then they don't do shit, and then you're just like, fuck, bro.
Dude, there was people like that was in our group. I know exactly what you mean, and again, it kind of goes back to that, you know, attachment that I had with people who come work for us. It's almost like the same thing, right? You want to help them and you want to see them win. So, like, you know, we would have conversations and I would say, hey, look, I need to know how many leads you're getting a week. I need you to do this to boost it up, right? And come next week, they're still getting the same amount of leads. And it's like, man, dude, like it puts you in a tough position, and it kind of sucks, you know, hearing stuff like that. But yeah,
I mean, it's a part of it, but nobody talks about that when it comes to the education aspect. And don't get me wrong, it is lucrative. Like, it's really lucrative, but then the time suck of it all. And then for me, like, the mental suck of, like, me caring for this person still takes up mental space and the other 90 problems I'm trying to solve.
Right. Yeah.
So how often are you going to Mexico, bro? Like, how I see you like, how often are you really down there? Like, I have this shit written down. How often are you going down there?
Oh man, dude, I went to Mexico maybe once or twice this year.
So where the hell are you with all the palm trees and the beaches then? I see you with palm trees and beaches like every 2 weeks.
So just recently we went to I got back from St. Thomas Monday. So St. Thomas Virgin Islands. So that was pretty fun. Right before that we went to I'm probably gonna butcher this, Puerto Vallarta. Okay. And that's in Mexico. It's on the California side. So Pacific, right? That was beautiful, man. Oh, that was so beautiful. But yeah, man, I like to travel. I think I'll probably go on another, you know, little small vacation again at the end of this month. I might go to Tulum, check out Tulum. I've never been to Tulum. It looks like a beautiful place. But yeah, man, I love to travel.
So my next question is, as you're building your business, are you taking that into consideration now? Like, okay, do I really want to have all this office staff, or do I want to be like that guy who lives down there in Mexico and then just operates his base 100% virtually?
No, I don't want to live in Mexico, man. I'm good with staying here in the States.
Or live anywhere is the biggest thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess time will tell. You know, I don't know if I want to live in Houston for the rest of my life. You know, maybe move somewhere else. I was thinking about Dallas or Florida. I love Florida. But you know, I don't know. It's whatever God has in plans for me. As far as staff goes, it's you know, I obviously couldn't leave until I find you know, solid leadership that can be able to take over that role, right? And I think that's probably the hardest thing, is being able to find, you know, those key personnel to be able to do something like that. As far as me traveling right now, man, the business sustains. I'm always on top of my shit, even whenever I'm out. And I have somebody who's here that has my back. Whenever
100%.
I'm going, I have a guy that's I hired literally for this, to be able to do all my tasks whenever I'm out, and he handles it with no problem. So just having people like that too, I think is really good, especially if that's something that you want to do.
How big of a game changer was it hiring on that guy, and we'll just call him an assistant? And when did you know you had to make that hire, bro?
Huge game changer, man. Huge. When did I know I needed to make that hire? I think, man, it really just boils down to, I guess I was starting to get a little bit more stressed with and overwhelmed with a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do. And I know in order to grow, there's stuff that I needed to let go of, right? There's stuff that I needed to stop, letting consume my time. So, hiring that person definitely took that off my shoulders to allow me to focus on, like the storage unit development or, marketing, adding this piece and hiring and training people, right? So now I have him, doing tasks for me that never allowed.
I lost you, bro.
Sorry, I had a call coming in.
No problem. There you go.
So
you got cut off, dude. That allows you to do
where
what?
where did I? Oh yeah, that allows me to be able to do something like that, right? To allow me to be able to focus on like storage or bigger projects, bigger things, right? Because obviously I'm trying to look to grow, right? I'm trying to look to grow, to get into more stuff, to invest some of my money that I've made from wholesaling and flipping houses. I'm looking to invest my money, and in order to do that, I need more time, right? So
100%.
Mhm.
So we got our people stat. So what are the stats for your acquisitions, people?
We like to get them to make at least 100 calls a day and 10 offers a day. So
wow.
I'm more focused on the offers, right? Like how many offers that they're making a day. That's the biggest thing for me.
And is your offer a ballpark? Are you talking hard offer? Are you talking like emails in their like DocuSign in their email box?
No, not necessarily sending out a contract, but sending out an offer, right? Giving them an offer for their property. Hey, look, if I were to buy this house, I need to be at, from A to B, right? I just want them making offers, because the more offers you make, the more contracts you get.
Yep. Okay. So, and we're going to wrap this thing up in probably like the next 10 minutes. I want to talk about what's been your biggest failure so far.
Biggest failure, man. I don't like to, that's kind of hard for me to answer because I don't really like to see anything as failures, but I think the biggest thing that I probably, if I would go back and change, would be to, whenever I did move originally in Houston, I kind of got stuck into that too hard into that entrepreneur mentality, to where like I didn't want to go get a job whenever I knew like I needed some income coming in, right?
Yeah.
And I was living off of my savings, which led me to having no money pretty much. So yeah, no money, and I was like stuck in credit card debt. I think that was probably the biggest mistake that I've made. If I were to go back, I would have definitely put my ego aside and go and get the job sooner, go and work at the collections agency sooner, go and sell cars, whatever, man. Like there was so much stuff that I passed on because I was like, I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna be a business owner, right? So I was just, young, naive. I had a ego, and yeah, it led me to that point. So yeah, going back, and if I were to change anything, that's what it would be.
That is the number one thing that I did, bro. I did the same exact shit. Like, I don't need a fucking job. I'm gonna do this shit.
Right.
Dead broke, credit card debt, starving.
Yeah, it's the worst. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man.
So far, what has been your greatest achievement?
Greatest achievement. I feel like a lot of it is seeing. There's a lot, man. I like to see my employees grow. I like to see people who we bring in and watching them grow and flourish and becoming excelling in their position. I love to see that, man. And I like freedom. I like to be able to do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it. Obviously, like, I'm not there 100%. I'm still having to be very active in my business, but I see like the light at the end of the tunnel, and being able to just do what you want to do and enjoy life I think is kind of like the biggest thing for me. And because of COVID last year, it kind of put a lot of things on hold for me as far as like me wanting to travel and explore the world.
Yeah.
But this year, man, I've been going pretty hard at it, and I don't want to quit anytime soon of doing something like that. So being able to do that, man, has been a huge blessing for sure.
Okay, and then what do we got? What's your morning routine?
Morning routine, man, I read. Sometimes I work out if I have enough time. That's pretty much it, man. And I'll go straight into the office. We'll go into the office. We'll come in here. We'll do a morning meeting on all of our properties that we have that are assigned or pending. Whatever we have that we're marketing right now, we game plan every single day. Then that's usually followed by an acquisition meeting. So we have like a little huddle with the acquisition guys, and we'll either do script practice. We'll watch sales videos,
Okay.
some Jordan Belfort stuff, Grant Cardone. There's a lot of other guys that we'll watch, and yeah, man, we'll just get rolling.
How much time do you spend a day thinking? Just thinking.
Shit, dude, a lot.
Like thinking
I
about
don't
your
know.
business.
Oh man, how
Like
much
hashing
time?
out the bottlenecks.
Dude, I don't know. Typically, that's more at the tail end of my day. Whenever I'm on my way home or something like that. I couldn't put an actual number on the time, but it's a lot, man. Yeah, it's a lot. I'm always thinking about what we can do better, how I could have done something better, what I want. You know what I mean? Changes that we can make, stuff like that. I'm always thinking about it. Say every day for sure. Every day.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I just think
Yeah.
people underestimate how much time they need to spend thinking.
Dude, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. It makes me think, makes me think of how much time I really do actually spend. But yeah, it's definitely every single day towards the tail end of the day, for sure, without a doubt.
Without a doubt. And then what are some of your top books that you let's go top 3 business books, not including Traction.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Traction is a good one. Top 3 business books, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Pitch Anything is really good. Pitch Anything. I think his name is Oren Clave or something. Super good sales guy. Other one, man, that I would say is probably I really liked How to Win Friends and Influence People too, but I would put that as kind of like the same material as Pitch Anything. But I think those books really go hand in hand for sure. And Think and Grow Rich is obviously a mindset book, man. That once I read that, whenever I was I had got laid off from the oil and gas industry, man, that changed my whole mindset.
What changed your life more, Think and Grow Rich or Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Think and Grow Rich, for sure.
Hands down. I feel the same way. All right. Do I have any more routine? Morning. Did I ask you about your morning routine? Like your exact morning routine?
Yep.
That's all I got, dude. Thank you so much for coming on. Oh,
cool.
Last one. What's your 5-year goal?
5-year goal is to be I want to own a house right now. I live in an apartment, so I've been living in an apartment for so long. I kind of just want my privacy, man. I love peace and quiet. So I want to live I want to get a house on a lake. So that's my goal. And yeah, again, just traveling, man, just doing whatever the hell I want, having the right people in the right positions to allow me the flexibility to do what I want to do. And other than that, man, probably have my daughter living with me at the time. So I definitely see that in the next 5 years. And that's about it, dude. Yeah.
Okay. And then what advice do you have for just getting started entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs who are a little bit more scaled out and they're just pushing for that next level?
Man, Just be consistent. Like, I think, right now, like on this podcast, I've talked a lot about, freedom and, traveling and stuff like that, but it wasn't always like that, man. I literally had to put my face down, like, to work every single day, all day. You know what I mean? And I think if you do that, you put in the work now, man, it definitely starts to pay off. You start to see that light at the end of the tunnel, like, damn, this was all the hard work, this was all worth it. So don't go out with your friends. Find new friends that are all, very consistent with working and striving for goals. I think that's huge. Finding the right people to hang around with. And yeah, like I said, man, just go to work, put your head down, and just grind. Like, grind every single day, every single chance that you can get. That way you can enjoy it later.
And then when you are starting out, keep that day job for a little bit, bud.
Keep that day job. For sure.
All right, man. Where can people find out more about you?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram, at Cody Purtle, at my first and last name. So it's that simple.
If they are in Houston or anywhere nationwide, need a dispo deals nationwide and Houston for your title company.
Yeah. If you want to send me deals, just send it to Cody, CODY, at Relia, RELIA, homebuyers.com. You could also email me something there too if you needed a title company to work with down here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, bro.
For sure, man.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thanks for having me on, dude.
Yeah, bro. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Winning Move podcast. I hope it helps you make all the right moves in your life and business. Please make sure to go like and subscribe on any podcast platform that you're listening to, and make sure to go follow me on Instagram at StratDaddy. Thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you soon.